Welcome back to the show, guys. Good to have you in here.
Hey,
so
Craig, good to
lending
see you again.
guidelines have tightened a bit. I know that you guys aren't mortgage bankers, right?
Yep.
But interest rates, right? So you mentioned interest rates. We've talked a little bit about this on the show, but having closed 100 plus deals last year, having a team of 30 agents, doing really well this year again, do you see people move with the interest rate market? Are they behind? How are people reacting out in the marketplace right now?
At the beginning of the year, when we saw rates come up, we did see a little bit of a slowdown in the marketplace. A lot of people were being preemptive and they were trying to get into the market before rates went up because it was predicted they were going to. And then as rates did climb, it did take a few people out of the market, but we still have historically low rates. They're still fantastic rates for somebody to get in. So we did see a little bit of a slowdown and there was a little bit of an impact on the market, but it wasn't bad.
You guys are primarily focused on listings, right?
Yeah.
So how are your sellers behaving right now?
Sellers too, it's such a great opportunity. There's still, the buyers that are out there right now are serious buyers. Again, we've been in this low interest rate environment for a while now. They're used to it. They are looking out there and they're looking for some deals right now. We're finding that across the board with buyers that they're taking their time a little bit more than they used to.
Well, you guys were recently on the radio show and
Yep.
we were talking about Zillow and Trulia. Look, it's great that there's become an online marketplace of information, right? Technology makes it so easy now, or you click a mouse and get all kinds of great information. But one of the things that you guys addressed is how, even though it's a nice resource to be able to go online, there's a lot of misinformation. I know we combat a lot of that, but specifically to two of the biggest names, Zillow and Trulia, where people go to get Zestimates and property valuations and buying and selling, and maybe even get introduced to a realtor. What are the flaws of those websites that you see? How are people coming out of that and bringing information in an uneducated way to you here, specifically in San Diego?
Yeah. We've talked about those estimates, how far off those are before, but today we want to talk a little bit on the buy side and for buyers. That's the biggest resource people go to is Trulia, Zillow. They've done a great job of positioning themselves and marketing, but they're not a good resource for consumers. Zillow, they only show about 88% of homes that are actually listed on the market. Trulia shows about 94, and this was an actual study done, and these are San Diego statistics. Other parts of the country, it's even worse.
So this is specific to
the San Diego
you watching
market.
from home right now.
So 88% on Zillow, 94 on Trulia, and then the homes that do make it on the market, it takes 7 days to make it on Zillow on average, and 9 days to make it on Trulia on average. So when people are looking at homes on there, we get calls all the time from people that are frustrated. They see a home, they think it's a great deal, they call, want to make an offer, want to see this home, and it's, well, sorry, that home sold last week. And the problem is the data is not accurate with it. And that's one of the problems with Trulia and Zillow is they're concerned with selling advertising to us as realtors, not providing information to the market.
What's really interesting, and you actually made a really good point. You said they're good at the marketing, right?
Yeah.
And that's where they make their money, by selling leads. I always think about LendingTree in that regard. You see those commercials, get lenders to compete for your loan. You're not getting lenders to compete for your loan. They buy your leads and then they basically outlie or outsell each other and play the interest rate quote game.
Yeah, and then they can take those marketing costs and they put it into the interest rates and everything else. So it's really the consumer that's actually paying for that.
Yeah, no, it certainly is. And look, if it's real estate is not just a transaction; it's your biggest decision. So if there's ever a time to get personalized advice, not just go online. It's your biggest investment. Your mortgage isn't just your biggest debt; it's going to be a financial instrument for you. So you guys have developed a unique tool, proprietary tool to the Alliance Group, your team, your agents that actually combats that and actually can be the resource. How does it work?
Yeah, basically, so we created a home search site for the consumer. It's searchmysanDiegohomes.com. And with that, it's a live direct feed from the MLS. So the consumer is getting the same data or the same information that we are as realtors. It's updated throughout the day multiple times, almost on an hourly basis. So the consumer is able to go on and access the properties that are available in San Diego just like we do as a realtor, but from the access of their home, from their mobile device, wherever they want, without the hassles of what comes along with Realtor or Trulia or Zillow.
Right.
With it, and then they're actually getting accurate, up-to-date information instead of data that's a week or 8 days old with it.
That's the benefit, to be updated right away when a property comes to the market.
Right, and look, we just came out of a marketplace where there's offers being made on homes that weren't even on the market, right? So much less information being a week plus outdated and not really being able to pull information from the local marketplace in a timely manner. I want to pull up that website again because I want to make sure that anyone who's watching here today at least has the opportunity to bookmark this website, You can go look up your property value. You can look at what's happening in your neighborhood. It's searchmysandiegohomes.com. If you could pull that up, there we go. Searchmysandiegohomes.com. That is a website that if there's anything to take away from the show, go check it out. You want to learn what your property value is? There you go.
And it's beautifully laid out with that, and it's so easy to navigate through. Also, that's one of the benefits of having that. I know that the other platforms and everything with Trulia and Zillow, they're very user functional also, but this is just a platform that it's easy. Everything's right there, and you don't have to go and kind of look and hunt and peck for it.
Right. So people need that. You know, we
Absolutely.
need the resource. And look, not every time does somebody want to talk to a professional necessarily. So that allows you to get the benefit of click around. Learn what you need to without getting misinformation, without being hounded by all the realtors that are just buying your leads, like we've discussed here. A program that you guys have recently taken to market that I've heard about. I can't speak in detail as you guys could. The Love It or Leave It program. It's basically a guarantee. Explain how that works.
Yeah, so with this guarantee, we put this in place for home buyers. And one of the things that we're seeing, especially as the market's starting to transition a little bit, just we talked about it at the beginning of the segment, buyers are taking a little bit longer. They're wondering, and when they're making a decision, is this the right home? Do we want to get into this home? With the Love It or Leave It guarantee, what it does is basically says purchase a home through us. And if in the first 24 months you're not happy with that home, situation changes, job changes, anything for any reason that you would need to sell the home, list it with us and we'll sell it for free. So
you buy a house, 24 months equates to 2 years.
2 years, yeah.
Right. So within the time you close escrow to 2 years, you're essentially going to say, hey, look, if you need to sell this house for whatever reason, we will come back, we'll be your listing agent, and we will sell it for free.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, and there's a lot of things that could cause that to happen. You might have to sell a house for a job transfer, whatever it may be. Keep in mind, I would tell you not to sell it because where you're going to lock into that interest rate, you guys are the Alliance Group. You're aligned with the best mortgage banking teams in San Diego. You're going to be able to probably rent the house, right, and still move on. But I'm thinking of the buyer, we just mentioned it, who's made multiple offers, hasn't been able to get their offer accepted. Now, I know it's a little bit different now than last year, but maybe you just want to move on, or maybe you get a raise, maybe something good happens, or maybe property values go up and you're saying, hey, wow, we have good things going on. We want to move up into a bigger and better home versus we're forced out of home. Hey, this is a great opportunity. Your income's gone up. We have equity. So it works in that situation as well?
Yeah.
Absolutely. So whatever the situation, and it just gives that extra little peace of mind for the buyers.
Love it. Well, great stuff, guys. So Zillow and Trulia, look, resourceful, kind of, but there's misinformation there. So you've developed searchmysandiegohomes.com if people want a free resource without being bogged down by phone calls from realtors, just trying to help them sell their house, right?
Exactly.
Nobody's really necessarily looking for that. So that's a great resource. The Love It or Leave It program, I've never heard of anything like that. I'll be interested to hear who reaches out. It just creates a little bit of a security blanket if you buy a house that maybe you don't like the house, maybe someone moves, maybe you want, or maybe you have to move, or maybe you want to move into a bigger and better house. So that makes sense as well. We're finishing the year here, guys. We're going into 2015. Anything real quickly that anybody needs to know going into next year?
Like we talked about on the show today, big thing we're talking to everybody, whether you're buying or you're selling, start the planning now. If you're thinking about selling, start having the consultation now. Let's start getting a game plan in place. What do you need to do to prepare the home? What steps do you need to, financially, do you need to get in place? If you're going to be purchasing, let's start looking at the financing now, because we talked about how difficult it is now. There might be some little hurdles, like a parking ticket you don't know about, or any little item that we need to get cleared up now to prepare. You would know.
Well,
I like how he
would
points
know.
at you and
if
says
you've
the
ever
parking
tuned
tickets.
into our radio show, I tell stories of parking tickets too often, and they send them to collections in San Diego. I mean, it just doesn't make sense at all. But as my mom told me when she listened to the radio show, well, why didn't you just put money in the meter?
Ticket,
It makes sense. All right, Alliance Group, Shannon, Keatley, Glen Henderson, thanks so much for coming in here. Always great.